And welcome to another edition of Working for Charities. I'm lucky enough to be joined by my two co-hosts, John the Bear Absey, Utah Jazz Bear for 25 years now, devoting himself to charity, and Randall Carlisle, longtime newsman, who left the news business a couple of years ago
to work at Odyssey House.
To work at Odyssey House and work
awesome.
To help people.
You know, the cool thing, the juxtaposition of John and me is for all those years, he couldn't talk. And for all those years, that's all I did. So I'll just be quiet.
You did a very good
here.
job of it.
Yeah, well, thank you. You did a great job of being silent.
Mine. 25-year mine. Yeah.
And the purpose of this show is to introduce the community to kind of amazing charities that are not the National Cancer Foundation or Society. These are groups that are more ma and pa, where someone has a vision, has a dream, makes it happen. And the Salt Lake environment is so much better for it.
And the problem is they don't get publicity like the major ones do. All charities, I presume all charities are positive and good, but the big ones get the publicity. And the point of this show is to get publicity for smaller ones.
Right. And I think a lot of people are kind of misguided. I think that when they're like, oh, look, I gave $100 or a dollar. I gave $1 to United Way, that $1 is actually being used for the charity, but it's not. I think people would be shocked at how little money goes to the bigger charities, actually go to the children and stuff. But when you're talking about the smaller charities, you're talking 99 cents just about on every dollar is going towards the children. And I wish people would help those littler charities out because they're getting technically more bang for your buck.
Amen.
Well, and not to disparage United Way, which does an amazing job.
No, disparage it.
No.
The lawyer for United Way is on the phone here for you, John.
And the bigger charities do some amazing things, but a lot of times your bigger charities are really throwing money towards research.
Yeah.
And what I love is
Cystic
where
fibrosis is a good one for that.
A charity that reaches out and touches people. With that in mind, tell us about our guests this week.
Well, first off, wait, really quick. Cystic fibrosis is one of those charities that majority, 3/4 of their money is towards research, which is amazing. And we just had Summer Love on our show, and she talked about the new drug that's coming out next year, and it's because of the money that they use for research that is helping. So,
and if you didn't see that show, she was someone who her parents were told she'd die by the age of 10.
Yep.
And how old is she now?
A woman wouldn't say, but
I think she's 40.
40.
She's my age.
Okay, so she can't be that old. She's a lot better looking than you, but
substantially.
Yes.
But research has its place. But I love when. You had a chance with Lee to go down and shoot at Ronald McDonald House, and when you can see families that are touched and by disease, and they come to Salt Lake and their kids are up at primaries, but they don't have a place to stay or they don't have the money for it. And so charities like that really are close to my heart. And I was lucky enough to work with Chris and Make-A-Wish back 33 years ago and find their original office. And that was amazing. And so Mark, one of our guests, 2 weekends ago, we actually had dueling fundraisers. You were at Mascot Miracles. I was over at Angel's Hands. And it was just great. There are hundreds of people in Salt Lake who are giving of themselves. And these are two smaller charities that do amazing things. So Now,
okay, so thankfully today, Albie and Shane were willing to come in. I got to know Albie just a couple weeks ago, actually. Yeah. She reached out to me because we were doing our mascot bowl at Harriman High School. And she reached out and asked if she could bring her cheer team, her forever cheer team, to the game and perform. And what you also have a studio, though, right? I mean, you teach.
So that is Forever Cheer, and then I coach Salt Lake Community College.
There you go. Well. That's what it was. Okay, and then, but the cheer team that she brought is a special needs cheer team.
Correct. So we have our special athletes, and then we have our cheer classes, and then our cheer teams that compete as well. So we had everybody just there.
See, and it was awesome because
perfect for your event.
Well, everything was so chaotic, but they were just so willing to stand there and wait until the moment they were able to come on, and like you had said earlier, that you just kind of went with it. But I appreciate you guys coming out and supporting, and the crowd loved watching the kids out there.
Yeah.
So, but tell us a little bit more about it.
It was definitely a fun event. We enjoyed ourselves. There was definitely food trucks and things for the kids to do. And we actually got to hang out in the kid area. And that's where we were at. And that was fun to watch the kids bounce houses. And it was a lot of fun to interact with them.
So what made you decide that you were going to teach cheer for special needs kids?
We actually, that holds a dear spot in my heart. Probably just because when I have 2 girls, and my oldest, at about 9 months, was diagnosed with infantile spasms, which were a type of seizure that come in a form of a sneeze. We were at primaries, in and out, trying to figure out what it was and how we could help her. At some point, we did have a talk, heart-to-heart, with somebody there that just kind of brought up the idea that possibly moving forward, my daughter would not be able to speak or walk or talk. And so that was something, as a parent, we were just unsure how to handle. She obviously, no kids come with a handbook. And that was definitely a little bit different. And so while we were at primaries, though, my husband and I actually met coaching cheer. And so we actually saw a lot of families there, and we saw a lot of kids. And we saw that, how much it added up for us, how much I'm sure it added for people that were there even longer, at primaries. And so him and I had always talked about that if we ever owned a gym, that is something we would offer. We would offer something to give back to the community, something to be able to give back. I can say that now my daughter's 10 and she walks, maybe talks a little too much. But
which
tumbles.
is good.
Absolutely.
We'll introduce her to Randall, and she'll have a career in news.
Yeah, for sure. But it's, she's has a couple of delays. But again, we worked through those together as a family, and it's been awesome. And, again, I'm sure that there are some families that don't have that same outcome. And so that didn't necessarily stop us from giving that blessing and moving sure that we did exactly that. So we opened up our gym in 2013. And then we decided that was the first thing we were going to do. We started off with 2 special athletes, and we fluctuate every year. A lot of times people don't know that we offer that service, and we actually have them come in and participate, and we teach them how to cheer. So they tumble, they stunt, they perform, and any chance we get to have them in front of a crowd, we like to do that as well.
That's awesome. Well, you guys were amazing.
Oh, good. Thanks. I'm glad you liked us.
To the kid, what's it like for your special athletes to come out and cheer in front of that many people who are so supportive?
Oh, I would have to say that's probably the highlight
of their day. They love it.
Yeah.
The thing that's kind of interesting to me is that usually special needs children aren't outgoing like that, where they want to be out in front of people. How did you guys deal with that?
It takes a second. We have some athletes that it's taken them a second to actually get into that, and we're patient, right? We have to be patient. Maybe we start with a smaller group. Maybe we start with even just their parents coming onto the floor and watching them. And sometimes some of them opt out to not go. And definitely it's something that we are okay with. And then we allow other athletes to, but we get them in a position too where we slowly are patient with them, walk them through it, even explaining to them like what's going to happen within that time period. Because we have gone to competitions where it's, maybe 500 people on this roughly on the stage, and so that can be a little bit overwhelming. So we definitely find accommodations to make sure that they have what they need.
It's got to create a self-confidence and a good feeling when they can perform in front of people. Describe that. Have you seen anybody come in who was embarrassed to do anything like that and then start shining?
I would say we have. We've had an athlete maybe about 2 years ago. She wanted to do cheer, but she didn't want to perform. So she just wanted to come to class and do a 1-hour class, and that was the extent of it. Now I can say that she is working, and she actually gave a presentation a few months back, which somebody took a picture of and showed us, and she got in front of a crowd.
Wow.
And so I think these kind of abilities that we can provide, even just that 1 hour a class that we offer, can do so much for them and build up their confidence as well.
Wow.
So it's definitely
So
fun.
cheerleading my knowledge of cheerleading camps and competitions comes from horrible teenage movies where everyone's fighting with each other. And so what are they really supportive? Can it be a difficult situation? What are they like?
Competitions, it's a time I think where gyms from all over the area get together and really get to see what they've been working, what they've been doing as a whole, and really support when it comes to our special athletes. I mean, there's other gyms in the area that have special athletes teams, and when we come around, I mean, there's definitely no competition there. It's more of being there for each other, giving them support, standing ovations. I mean, I just get the chills from thinking about it because they literally just come together, and I think that's what the world needs to see is that aspect of cheerleading.
So are you a coach?
Yes, I coach and I also cheer as well.
So where did you cheer for in high school?
I actually cheered at Copper Hills. I cheered for.
Oh, Copper Hills, you guys are tough.
Yeah,
You guys have been
I've
good
been
for a long
cheering
time.
for like 13 years. So.
And are you out of college now?
No, I'm still in college. I'm about to finish my associate's degree.
At your age, it's hard to judge younger people's age. You know what I mean?
Score 1 for Randall, 0 for Tripp. He just took one to the. I've got to go into my neutral corner. The ref's about to count me out. But yeah, I knew exactly how old you were. But when it comes to these competitions, what are they like? You've got hundreds of people. It must be just a lot of fun to go to, I guess.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, it's kind of cutthroat. I mean, my daughter's in drill, and going to their competitions, I mean, I've seen parents fight. It's like, I mean, the parents, I think what I've noticed, the parents are more involved and are more aggressive than the girls. Because when you see the girls on the court, when they have all the award thing, they're hugging each other, they're talking. But it's the parents. I think it's the parents that have that aggression. But yeah, I've seen some crazy things with.
So you've seen more of like the Bring It On movies.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But not even the movies, like real life, man. I'm talking. I go to these meets over at UVU when they have their meets, and we'll have parents that stay out all night long to get in.
Wow.
And then when the doors open, it is shoving and pushing so that people can get the front
perfect
row.
seat.
Yeah, the perfect seats.
At the mascot bowl, how did the crowd react to their kids?
Oh, they loved them. They really did. I mean, the support that they showed them and the talent that you guys had was amazing. And I think a big part that I noticed was that the children are getting out of this is the social aspect. I mean, like you said, is they don't usually get out because I think a lot of times parents, especially with special needs or children with disabilities, they don't go out in the community that much because of being judged. You know what I mean? And I think what you guys are doing is giving these children the opportunity to get out and to be in front of people and to socialize. And I think that helps them grow exponentially.
And I think also help the community and educate the community too of, they just want to have fun. They want to be involved just as much as anyone. Going out on a Friday night light stadium and eat popcorn and paint their faces and have a great time. So.
And the more that people in the community can see kids with other challenges, the more normal it becomes. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy where things get better and better.
Absolutely.
So when the kids are out there and all of a sudden you're performing in front of 1,000, 2,000 people, those are unique nerves that everyone has.
Yeah.
Special athletes, are there any tricks that you use to get people to relax and perform their best?
I think mostly just talking to them through the whole process, explaining to them step by step what's coming next. Even though those are some things that we know as athletes and coaches, we've been through it. We know that, you're going to go backstage, you're going to warm up and you're going to warm up your tumbling and their process. You're still walking them through that so they feel in the loop the entire time before taking the floor, building up their confidence. Also, too, we are allowed to be on the floor. So they actually see us throughout it. So it's not just the bright lights and then
so that's
themselves.
a comforting presence there.
Yeah.
So I just went through 4 private dance lessons. And when I had to dance at the wedding, I was going through anxiety like you would not believe. I've done a lot of things in front of people, but to have to be in front of people dancing scared the heck out of me.
You know what?
Am I sane?
Yes.
Good.
You are.
Okay.
Yes. And how did you do?
Horrible.
Okay.
No, I did
but
okay.
you had a great time.
No, it was horrible. It was the low point, but it really was.
I'd like to see video.
I do too.
Thank God. What I did was hired Israeli security to come in and take every phone away from everyone and give them back at the end of the wedding, because I did not want video of that out there.
Really?
But I am so impressed when you see even watching Dancing with the Stars or any of the reality contests where people are doing what you guys do is really amazing.
Awesome. I know, you should come out to our gym and you should have our special athletes teach you a couple cheers.
Which
here and there.
leads us into the question, where is your gym and how do people get involved?
You can see while he was in the news, man, he
That's
gets
right.
these.
Get right to the heart of the matter there.
Yeah.
So we are off of 6792 Airport Road in West Jordan, Utah, and it's Forever Cheer.
It's called Salt Lake Airport number 2.
I understand that.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah,
So
right off
so
Forever Cheer. So do you have a web page?
Yes. So www.forevercheer.com.
Cool. Okay, I've done my job. You guys can
Randall,
talk.
you
I got
actually,
the facts out there.
you know our big room next door. Randall and I warm up with some cheers and stuff.
Do you?
Yeah, Go Team is pretty
you should
much
see
what
their
we.
leg kicks. They're amazing.
Yeah, we
Wow.
really.
Yeah.
Might have to get you guys some palms. Some
spirit fingers.
Yeah.
So, and I know everybody has those moments in their foundations where they have those special moments, like that they will always remember. Like, what's a special moment for each one of you that, over the years that you've done this, that you've been able to hold in your hearts and say, that you will never forget? I threw you right on the spot there and make you think.
That's
Yeah.
a tough question. Good question.
Oh, that's a good question.
Oh, go ahead. You're about to get your
You got
associate's
one.
degree.
I know, right? Probably for me is going to like our last competition, because it's like the end of the year, and then you get to just do it like the routine one more time, and it's just like it's not like a closing, like you're not closing the book, you're just like going to reopen a new chapter and then start over again with them.
What is the cheer season?
It's pretty much year round. It starts, I guess, in May, and then it goes all the way
Till
in
May.
So
Okay.
it's year
And
round.
That's pretty much year round.
Yeah.
Let me see. May
Yeah,
and May.
Starts in May, ends in
End of May.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That.
It's like starts in May. Ends in May.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're Mensa members here. We're really smart. So, is cheer tied to the high school sports for younger girls, football in the fall and basketball in the spring, or is it separate? Kind of a in sports, sometimes kids will play for a travel team, which is separate of the school.
Mm-hmm.
That might be a little better program, and then they'll also play for the school. Is that?
So we actually started something called Game Day. And right now we actually have partnered up with Copper Hill's youth football team. And our athletes actually go and cheer on the football teams. And we have different age groups. So they range from as young as 5 and as old as 16. And we have youth football teams that are around that same age. So we're technically giving them that experience before they choose to try out for high school or decide to do All-Star Cheer, which is just a strict competitive cheer program.
I remember when cheer competitions first made it onto ESPN 30 years ago.
Yeah.
And there were some guys who were not as progressive as they should have been complaining about it. And my philosophy is that you've got amazing athletes doing really cool things. It's as much of a sport as anything that's going on in the field.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're tossing girls in the air. We are catching them. We are
That's the important part. The first part is,
Yeah, you're catching them. You're building this trust and teamwork to actually, help with other situations, whether it's after cheer and they decide to continue in the field, or they decide to broadcast or branch out to, television or newscasting or podcasts or just even jobs in general nowadays.
How many shows do you think you guys do with your special needs team?
We do, really just kind of depends on the year. We do reach out to community members, kind of like we reached out to you. And if we find events for them to participate, competition-wise, this year they're actually going to 2 competitions out in Vegas. And so they'll be performing out that way. We are also planning on trying out for Team USA. And so that if that happens and we get our bid for that, then they'll be traveling to Florida.
Dude, that's amazing. And please reach out to me, because I know there's a few schools that had talked to me about they would love for you guys to come out and do their halftime or one of their breaks.
That would be fun. And anytime that we can get them out to perform, they love that too.
So the mascot bowl, we packed Harriman High School. And that must have been, for your athletes, pretty fun to be in front of a huge crowd like that.
Oh, that was so
Yeah.
fun.
They love
They
it.
loved it. Especially when we came down to the actual field. They, they knew that it was game time. It was showtime. And
That's cool.
and the mascots were great. They interacted with our athletes and had a great time.
That's awesome.
And of the sports, what's better for a cheerleader? Is it football or basketball when you're cheering at an event?
Huh.
That's personal preference.
Football.
I mean,
I think all the cheerleaders.
Well,
like
and
cheer for football.
cheers for volleyball.
yeah.
I mean, our Salt Lake Community College does not have a football team, so we actually cheer for volleyball. And
Okay.
our girls are great. They, they do a good job, and they won several games. So that's always fun to kind of watch and get to know them and interact with them.
Because
as well.
as a TV announcer for football and basketball is such a smaller court,
Yeah.
and the fans are right on top of you. That would seem to be, if I was performing, that would be much more intimate. You can see everyone, and you can kind of energize a crowd.
Yeah, and like she said, I think it's definitely preference. I think, where is it you that you like football?
I prefer football.
Why?
I would
First-
prefer basketball.
I just feel like you just get like, I love being under like the lights at night. I grew up with my brothers playing football, and that's kind of how I got into cheer, because my brother dated a cheerleader, and then it just kind of,
So you didn't think
Yeah.
about playing.
no. I mean, no. No, I thought about other sports, but then, I ended up going into cheer, so.
Well, cheer is great too because of the tumbling, the gymnastics. These are skills you can use all your life. It's probably really good from you, the stretching perspective, great conditioning.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And so you're around it a lot. When you were training for 25 years as the Bear, you've seen some pretty amazing athletes who are cheerleaders and stuff.
I was really fortunate to work with and their cheer sort of is the stunt team from Weber State and the Utah Jazz stunt team, and they were amazing. Summer Willis, do you know Summer Willis? She was an amazing coach, and the stuff that they were able to do was, literally, I think, was shocking to the crowd, because they make it look like the girl that they're throwing or that they're swinging is gonna crash, but they catch them and every time. And I still remember a number of times, and this is how awesome they were as a team. I'd run in, and we did this when I was just like, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. I go, is it possible if we build this human tower 4 high, and then I'm going to crawl on everybody's back, and I'm going to get to the top, and I'll hold up a sign? And they all were like, yep. we practiced once in the back. It didn't work, and the timeout happened about 2 minutes later, and we ran out, and we did it. It was that's how amazing they were. They could game anything. They were amazing.
It always seemed to me like you were putting your life on the line with a lot of the things you did as the Bear.
I figure if I'm going to go, Randall,
That's
I'm going
the
to
way
go
to
with
go.
a
In
crowd.
front of 18,000 people.
So, yeah, but they were amazing. I have so much respect for cheer and dance because, like you said, you can be out playing a sport, but, you don't have the nerves as much as you do as a dancer, because as a football player, you're not putting yourself out there like a dancer or a cheer girl is, because, it's trying to think of the word. You're being judged, I think, way more than a football player is. And
So you have you're anonymous with 21 other athletes on the field at a time.
a football helmet.
Yeah.
And a cheerleader's looking right at the crowd, and they're looking right at the cheerleader.
Yep.
That's, yeah.
So how did you start in cheer?
I actually started in middle school. I was a dancer.
Oh, nice.
And our cheer coach became our dance coach became a cheer coach, and she told us we had to do both. And I was like, no, I just want to do dance. I don't want to do cheer. I didn't sign up for cheer. And she's like, well, just give it a try, because there's not a lot of girls that try it out. So I said, okay, what could happen? Fell in love with it and continued to do it on into college, and loved every second of it, and met my best friend that way. And
Is it fun owning a cheer gym?
yes, I think it comes with any business you own, right? There come the heartaches, and there comes the time where you have to come together. But I think the coolest part about it is just the lives you get to touch, the people you get to meet. I get to meet you guys. I got to meet you guys. I got
So
to meet
lucky there's a
her.
downside. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
I prefer the positives, but go ahead.
The positive part is I get to meet some really cool people that just have great things and advice, and just when things get hard or you're trying to do certain things, it's definitely worth the job.
One of the amazing statistics, and nationwide, percent of kids who take up extracurriculars, and sports, the numbers I know, and graduate is in the high 90s. So if you do not have any sports, you just show up to school or activities or any extracurriculars, you have a tendency not to, those graduation rates are substantially lower.
Wow.
So spending that time, that quality, and that's why colleges, when they look at, and you're going through this now with your kids, but you're filling out applications, they want to see that you're doing that extra
Other
stuff.
stuff.
Yeah. That's what makes a difference. So they'll look at grade point and test scores, but it's the extracurriculars. And part of cheer is giving back. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, we're cheer leaders. That we love the cheer aspect. We can get the crowd pumped up, but we have to remember the leadership part of it too. And so the leadership part is going out to the community, being a part of your community, being recognized as being able to give back, and working together, getting to meet new people, getting to have interactions. And sometimes too, as cheerleaders, as you guys know, cheerleading and drill is a very expensive sport. So being able to be that fortunate and have that ability to do that sport, and then going back to the community and giving back to maybe those people that are not as fortunate, but being willing to give them that same experience that you have, is definitely a plus.
Fantastic. Well, we have exhausted another half hour.
Boy, they all just fly by, don't they?
They certainly do. Thanks so much, guys, for coming. And we're going to put the name of your studio up on the screen right now with a phone number. And if you've got questions, if you want to support, especially the program with special athletes, that is wonderful. And you could use all the support you can get from the community.
Most definitely. Any support is definitely welcome, even if they'd like to come and check them out, if they'd like to come and actually help volunteer. Our coaches volunteer their time as well to come and help them out.
Plus, do you have, is there still room for people if they would like to put their child in as well?
Absolutely, yeah. So we have two teams. We have our 10 and under, and then we have our 11 and up. So there's definitely room for anybody who's wanting to come in and join and try it out.
Perfect.
Well, fantastic. John, Randall, we should do this again.
Well, okay.
I'm
I'm sorry to reach in front of you.
Okay,
Okay, let's
run around to Randall.
Group hug. We're all in love.
Yes, this is, we don't fake this. We go out and have lunch afterwards for our
I'm going to
entire
give Leah a
group.
hug. Leah, I love you.
As long as he doesn't knock the camera, but we're good. And April's here as well. So we've got the whole crew. If you would like to be profiled on working for charities, just contact us on our website and we'll get you booked. We enjoy getting a chance to meet some great organizations. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.